Hello, my name is Marley and welcome to my channel, Type 1 Reader. Today's video I'm really excited to share with you. It's a really random idea that I got, but I hope you will stick around and check it out. I've been obsessed with coloring. ColourTok in particular has really inspired me. So I have been obsessed with coloring with alcohol markers and a bunch of those cute, cozy coloring books. If you are familiar with ColourTok, let me know down below. It has been an addiction for me, but I decided to combine my love of coloring with my love of reading. And so in this video, I took inspiration from 3 of my recent reads and I designed a coloring page based on those books, taking inspiration from the cover and the plot and things like that. So let's roll the clips. Hope you guys will enjoy and let me know what you think down below. Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my first coloring page for this video where I color pages based on the books that I read recently. Today I'm going to be coloring in my Cozy Friends Cute and Comfy coloring book from Coco, and the book that I just finished recently last night was Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I looked through this book to see which picture would most fit that book, and I'm gonna explain it to you guys. If you don't know, Magnolia Parks is basically about these rich people, specifically Magnolia and BJ. They are like London socialites in their early 20s and they have been friends forever and in love with each other forever basically, but they are in this back and forth of just constantly hurting each other, breaking each other's hearts. It is a love story or a romance book, but also very much deals with a lot of drama. And so the page I thought would fit the most was this one of these 2 characters shopping. In the book, BJ and Magnolia shop quite a bit because they are super rich. They will buy things for each other. They go especially to Gucci a lot. And so I just thought it was perfect having these 2 characters shopping. I think I'll have the, girl with the bow be Magnolia and then this dog will be BJ. My inspiration for this page, I think, is going to be a little bit based on the cover of the book. This cover that I have on screen is very pink, but also has BJ in a suit. So I'm thinking maybe I'll try to put him in a suit, but maybe not because his dog already has a scarf on. But yeah, I think I definitely want to incorporate a lot of pinks into this because of the cover. There's this other version of the cover that I'll put on the screen, but it's not really giving me a lot of inspiration for this other than like the greenery, but there's not really much greenery in this picture. The other thing I want to take inspo from is what I said before of Gucci, because Magnolia is constantly shopping at Gucci and all these other high-end stores like that. So I was looking up a bit about Gucci because, I don't know a ton about the brand, but I was seeing, they have their logos that they're known for, the G logos and the red and green stripes. So I'm going to try to incorporate those in my picture as well. I'm by no means like a super great artist. I've been having fun with my coloring, but yeah, I'm not going to promise that this is going to be amazing, but I hope it'll turn out decent and I hope it will reflect Magnolia Parks at least somewhat. Now I'm going to try to maybe set the camera up where you guys can see my coloring, and then maybe I'll do like a voiceover of what I was thinking as I color, and I'll talk to you more about my thoughts on the book. Alright, I'm going to start with the floor. I'm taking inspiration from a photo of a Gucci store that is pink, so that will perfectly combine wanting to use pink and Gucci inspiration. So we'll see how this pattern goes. Hopefully it doesn't look ugly. Spoiler alert, it definitely did end up looking ugly, but anyways, as I work on this floor pattern, I'll talk to you more about Magnolia Parks. So I introduced it a little bit, but yeah, it's following Magnolia and BJ, and they're very tumultuous and like toxic relationship. They had the same friend group growing up. There's a few girls in the friend group and then it's mostly guys. They started dating when they were quite young and were together for a lot of years. Were really in love with each other, and then BJ actually cheated on Magnolia, so they broke up. And now it's been 3 years of them just back and forth hurting each other. BJ will sleep with all these different women and Magnolia will date other guys and make sure that BJ sees to make him jealous. Obviously it's just very much not healthy, but it's very entertaining, and their relationship is really special. Like, they know each other so well. They will constantly still be seeing each other, still being in contact with each other, sleep in the same bed even though they're not physically together. It's just a very interesting relationship that we're following here. Honestly, it sounds like something I wouldn't necessarily love. I definitely don't like reading about like toxic relationships, but it just was so entertaining and so well written how Jessa Hastings did this. Okay, this is the floor. I didn't do a perfect job of covering these lines with the white gel pen, so I might try to go in with another layer, but that's what we have so far. Alright, here's a look at Magnolia and BJ all colored in. Magnolia is of course the bunny with her little pink bow and Gucci slides. And then we have BJ, he's blonde, so I did the dog as a yellow color, and I added the Gucci stripes, and I also added a bunch of his tattoos. In the book, it's described that he has like a ton of tattoos that are for Magnolia, and I looked up all of the tattoos and tried to place them where they're supposed to be on his body in the book. So I thought that was kind of a cute detail to add. Anyway, back to the book. One of the things I didn't love about it was a bit of the double standard. So BJ sleeps with like so many women, like hundreds of women, and then Magnolia only sleeps with BJ, and she like refuses to sleep with anyone else that she dates, which is totally fine, but it just kind of felt like a double standard gender wise between the two of them, that it was like, you know, fine that BJ was sleeping with all these women, but Magnolia like had to stay pure and like only sleep with him. That was just like a little gripe I had, but otherwise I actually thought this book was so fun. It was actually really funny and cute at times. I feel like Jessa Hastings really had that fun like English style to her writing, and this is really good for someone who just likes drama, rich people drama, dating drama. If you liked the show Gossip Girl, I never watched it, but I assume you would like this. It's really good for someone like me who loves love triangles. There's actually like 3 different men who are like head over heels in love with Magnolia throughout the book, and I actually found myself shipping her with like each and every one of them. It's just is so fun for me to have love triangles and have multiple love interests and just all the guys in love with one girl. I just find it so fun. So I actually ended up rating it 4 stars. As I said, like it wasn't perfect. Some moments could be a little cringe, and of course the characters are pretty unlikable, but that's how they're supposed to be. But I also didn't realize that this book, well, I knew it was a series, but I thought each book would follow a different couple, but it did end off in a way where I think we will be returning to Magnolia and BJ's story in future books, which just kind of took me off guard. So just be aware of that going into this book, that you will probably have to continue the series, but that's fine. I am willing to continue the series because I did overall really enjoy this read more than I expected to, just with the fact that it's a romance and about like a toxic relationship. It kind of surprised me, and I see why it is so popular. Alright, for coloring, you can see me adding in more pink, and then I just kind of used random colors for the rest of the details around the store. I think I was starting to get a little bit over it, to be honest, and I wasn't really thinking too much of the theme anymore. I did still try to keep the pinks and the red and green for Gucci. And then I went in with my white gel pen to do all the highlights. Just a tip, the highlights will always improve your coloring no matter how bad you think it is. I decided to attempt doing some darker shadows, but then I didn't like it, so then I just went in with some lighter shadows to finish it off. Alright, so here is the final coloring page. As I think I've already said, I do not love certain things about it, mainly the floor. I think adding the highlights, as I alluded to before, always improves a page, but I just don't love the pattern that I ended up doing. A couple other mistakes. I started doing that dark shadow and then I decided I didn't like it. Some of my other like shading I don't love, but overall I do like the tattoos that I added for BJ. I think that's kind of fun. I actually really like this sweater, giving very Gucci vibes. So yeah, this is the final page. Let me know what you thought. Does it give Magnolia Parks vibes to you? Did I succeed with the assignment? Let me know. Hello, welcome to another coloring session based on my recent reads. It's been a few weeks since the Magnolia Parks coloring. Every book I read, I keep waiting for that inspiration to hit, what I want to do my next page for. And then yesterday I finished Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Sorry if this lighting is not the best with being backlit. This is just where I want to sit. But yeah, obviously the 3rd book in the 4th Wing series, it just recently came out when I'm filming this. I know I'm going to upload it later, but I just thought it would be fun to try to create a page that was based on the 4th Wing universe, in particular Onyx Storm, the newest book. Now it was a little tricky to find a page that could work for this, obviously because the only coloring books I have are the Girl Moment Cute and Comfy coloring book, which obviously just mainly has a cute girl moments. And then the coloring book I used before, which was the Cozy Friends Cute and Comfy coloring book. Again, not really giving the vibes. And then I also have a spooky cutie coloring book as well, but no dragons to be found in any of these books. But the image I decided to go with today is going to be this image here from the Girl Moments book, because we just have a girl staring out the window, and I think this gives us the most to work with. She's going to be looking out the window at her dragons, and I've already drawn 2 little dragon shapes, so those can be her 2 dragons. This will obviously be Violet. It doesn't really look like her, but I'll do my best to make it look like her, and we can just try and color her surroundings to give Fourth Wing or Onyx Storm vibes. So that is the plan for today. This is the page I'm going to be working on tonight. And once I get my setup and once I start coloring, I will tell you more about the book, about the plot, and my review. Okay, hopefully this angle's okay. I've traced out also some lightning in the sky. So I think I'm going to focus on the sky first. So focus on our dragons, the sky, and the lightning. So yeah, the Fourth Wing universe, or the Empyrean series. So working on Tarn first. So as you all probably know, Fourth Wing is a fantasy romantasy, technically, as romance is a big part of it. We are following this character, Violet Sorengale, in this world. She lives in a world that is plagued by this war that's going on. And so Violet gets sent to this like war college. Even though she has been training her whole life to be a scribe, her mother forces her to go into the section of the school to become a dragon rider. That's super dangerous, especially for a Violet who obviously grew up not really like physically training. And Violet also has a disability, makes her physically weaker. Her joints and like her bones are just more like fragile. But she goes into this war college. As I've said other times on my channel when talking about this book, it very much is giving like Divergent vibes, because it's like this girl who's you think is kind of like weaker training, and it's very like dangerous. People are trying to kill her kind of vibe, and Violet has to find a way to survive and train. She has to kind of like use her smarts, and she makes, you know, some really nice friendships along the way, and of course some romances as well with Xaden, the older guy at the school. I'm not loving how these colors are turning out here, to be honest. So while Violet is training, she ends up bonding with 2 different dragons, which is unheard of in this world. So suddenly she is, you know, giving very chosen one vibes. And of course, it's 2 like really powerful special dragons that she bonds with. She continues to develop this relationship with Xaden, and her friendships and things, you know, get revealed about the world, that secrets are being kept and stuff like that. Okay, this isn't terrible lightning, I guess. I don't know. No peachy. And basically there are kind of some other fantastical elements within the world. Like, it's not just dragons, but I won't really get into that because I'll try to avoid spoilers as much as possible in this review. It's one of those fantasies where there is a lot of war going on, dragons, and romance. We had the second book, which kind of just continued plot, continued the romantic development and other character relationship development, and we got even more kind of reveals about this world. Peach, my little dragon's trying to say hi. Oh, and I should also say that not only does everyone like get their own dragon, but you also get like a special power if you're a dragon rider called like a signet. A Violet gets the power to control lightning. That is why I'm incorporating lightning into this photo. It's very fun. I mean, definitely tropey, but there's a reason that it's so popular, you know? It's just like a very accessible series. It has a lot of fun tropes and characters. I also feel like dragons are really cool. and you'll see a lot of people who are mainly into it for the dragons. And Darna and Tarn are such good characters. Yeah, I just love them. So that's kind of the series summary. I know I was really distracted as I was talking about that. Speaking of the dragons, I'm just coloring in Tarn here. He is a black dragon, so he's kind of blending into the sky, I realized, but I guess that's fine. I guess that's something good about him, is that he blends in. Maybe I'll add some highlights so that he'll stand out. The other dragon is a bit of a spoiler of kind of what dragon she is, so I won't say too much about it, but if you know, you know. Okay, so there is the second dragon, and now I'm gonna keep coloring and I will check back in a bit. Okay, here's a little update. So this was a poster that said coffee lover. I switched it to say Xaden lover, and this I looked up like what represents the shadow signet, found this kind of shape online. Not sure if that's super clear, but so colored in violet. Obviously she's brunette with silver at the end of her hair. Don't love how this came out. Don't love how this came out. She normally has her hair in a braid, and I think if this image had that, it would have been easier to incorporate the silver. Don't know if there's a way to fix that. Also, when I was coloring her brown hair, my marker started to run out, so it ended up a little streaky. So as for her outfit, so I gave her long black sleeves because I feel like they would wear that in the book, and then she's known to have like little armor as well, so I tried to do that. For her laptop, oh my god, there was a little strawberry under there, which unfortunately you can still kind of see, but I tried to go over it with the gold, pulling from like the gold, you know, from the cover, and then I put a little dagger on it instead. Oh, maybe from afar it's not as bad, I don't know. But these are some of the changes I've made to Fourth Wing Affiat. The only other thing I'm kind of thinking of is, this is a phone case, which obviously they don't have phones in the book, but maybe I'll put like a little lightning strike on here or something else related to Fourth Wing there. I'm thinking of coloring these the color violet to go with, you know, that her name's Violet. Then I'm gonna try to maybe incorporate stuff from the cover onto this lamp, like more of the black and gold, and maybe do something like that with the wall as well. And then otherwise the plants, I think I'll just color in like normal. Alright, now in terms of what I think about this series. So this series is a 4-star series for me. I gave the first book 4 stars. I gave the second book 4 stars. And I actually did give Onyx Storm 4 stars as well. But probably like a lower 4 stars. Like I probably enjoyed the first 2 books more. I just think they're really fun. I genuinely do like the romance. Even though I felt like in the first book they got together a little sooner than I would have liked. As we continue to see Xaden and Violet's relationship throughout the series, I actually really like them as a couple. I really like their dynamic, and I also really just like both of the characters as individuals. I really like Xaden and how he is, you know, kind of broody and grumpy and can be kind of mean, but then like he ultimately has the typical heart of gold at the end of the day. And then Violet, I mean, I just really like her. I love how smart she is, but also how resilient and how she cares about everyone. Like she's just a great main character. That is like the main draw for me for the series, and that's the main thing that I liked about Onyx Storm, because to be honest, I feel like not a lot happened in this book. Like from start to end, it's kind of like, well, what really happened. And I feel like going into this book, there were so many theories flying around in the fandom. Not that I necessarily am super in this fandom, but my sister has been reading the books, and that's why I decided to read Onyx Storm so soon after its release, is because she was really getting into the series. And so I was like, okay, I may as well read it and talk to her about the book. She was, you know, getting into all the theories, and then I was getting into it, and I just feel like we were giving Rebecca Yarros a little too much credit. Like, not really any of these fun theories that we've been coming up with came true. And there's still obviously a chance, because I think the series is going to be like at least 5 books. You know, maybe some of the theories will end up coming true, but I just wish technically more could have happened. You know, there are some character deaths. This book is really known for character deaths, mainly in the first book. Now I feel like Rebecca kind of chickens out and like is only killing very minor characters, which I'm kind of fine with, because like obviously I've been saying how I really like the characters, so I mean, I obviously don't want my faves to die, but it just feels a little like, oh, like how convenient these characters that I kind of like forgot who they were are the ones that died, you know what I mean? So overall, really enjoying the series still, but still there's definitely flaws to it. Even like during the battle scenes in this book, I just was getting bored. And I know that's with other fantasy books too, and other battle scenes, but she even went to the point of like switching points of view to other characters, which isn't a thing in this book. Like, it's all from Violet's point of view, but she decided to switch to some other characters' points of view for like the battle, and I just feel like it didn't add anything. But yeah, I mean, it did have a bit of like a cliffhanger ending, of course. I'm definitely like intrigued to know what's gonna happen. As I said, there's still a chance that theories will come true. So overall, like, I would recommend this series to fantasy lovers who are like not super into like high fantasy. Like, this would maybe be good for like fantasy beginners, people who tend to like more like urban fantasy, and obviously people who enjoy a lot of romance in their fantasy and like character-based fantasies as well. So basically, for my coloring, I'm making it a pretty like dark photo, using a lot of dark colors, because obviously that's just the vibe of like what the dragon riders wear and everything, and really trying to pull inspiration from the cover of Onyx Storm, like where I've added in these like gold highlights. I'm going to continue to add more of these gold highlights throughout, I think. Yeah, if you've read the series, if you've read Onyx Storm, let me know what you thought, because yeah, I would say overall kind of disappointed, but also had a good time. And let me know if you have any theories, because that's something that's keeping me going for sure. Alright, here is the final image, my Fourth Wing / Onyx Storm inspired coloring. So definitely not totally happy with how the window turned out. I have my Andarna dragon there, my Terran dragon there. Because the sky's so dark, it's kind of hard to see him. And then we have this lightning, which I don't really like how it turned out, unfortunately, but whatever. We have the dragons there. The lamp, I took inspiration from this part of the cover with the clouds. Similar with the walls, I took inspiration from the Onyx Storm cover with the gold, just taking it from some of the line work that was around there. Of course, I already noted my Xaden lover sign, Violet's hair, and then I added a little patch. I forget, what did they call them in the book? They're little section patches, whatever you would call them. So I got this from online. I'll try and link some of the inspo in the description of images that I looked at for her patch. As I said, her phone, I put a little lightning strike on there. I already showed you before her laptop having the dagger on it because her weapon of choice is a dagger. I did purple flowers for Violet. And yeah, that's all of the, I guess, Onyx Storm references. Let me know how you think this one turned out. I think it's just fun to do this. Like, I don't know if these are going to be like my favorite pages, the ones that are based on books, but it just makes it a little bit more interesting because a lot of times I don't know what I want my inspiration to be for my coloring pages. So this just lets me like know what I want to take inspiration inspiration from. So yeah, let me know what you thought of Onyx Storm if you've read it, and let me know what you thought of my coloring. And we're gonna do one more book. We'll see what it ends up being. All right, everyone, the third and final book I'm gonna color has been decided. It's gonna be Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. Just finished this today. It is the sequel to Ninth House, which I absolutely loved, and it was 5 stars. At first I was like, oh, none of these coloring pages really are speaking to me, even though I have, of course, my Spooky Cutie coloring book, which has a lot of ghosts and stuff. And if you know the series of Ninth House, there's a lot of spooky things and ghosts and stuff like that, but none of these images were really calling to me. So what I think I'm gonna do is a page from the Girl Moments book again, and we're just going to try to do our best to adjust the image to be as close to inspired by Ninth House and Hellbent as we can get. I'm thinking this page, which just has a girl with her little stuffy that she's holding with a comfy blanket, a cat, the night stars in the background, and we'll just make her be Alex, our main character, and I'll try to decorate it similar to the vibes of Ninth House, which, if you don't know, takes place at Yale and deals a lot with secret societies and the occult and stuff like that. So I'll just try and make this page look like it's taking place at Yale or at Leith, which is the secret society Alex is in. I don't know if I'm going to start tonight or tomorrow. I might give myself some more time to like think of what I want to do exactly with this page, but that's going to be our final coloring mission for this video. Let's see how it turns out. So the Alex Stern series follows our main character Alex, who goes to Yale University, and she actually works for the Ninth House, aka Leith House, which is one of the secret societies on campus. There's a bunch of different secret societies that all deal with magic, and basically Alex's job as being a part of Leith is to kind of monitor all the other secret societies, kind of police them to make sure they are not doing anything wrong with their magic. And the reason we find out that Alex was recruited to join this society and given this role is because Alex has a special kind of magical power where she sees ghosts, and she has a really actually dark past because of this. But yeah, now her life is better now that she is at Yale and being given this opportunity. So because of the heavy Yale influence and setting, I decided to add this sign to the wall. I blacked out the original image and added Lux A Veritas, which is the Yale motto, meaning light and truth. And then I also added Yale's logo with the Y and the dark blue, which is their signature color. Then the main girl is obviously going to be Alex. She has dark hair and tan skin, and she also has a tattoo, which I later draw. Her full name is actually Galaxy Stern. She just goes by Alex. So I thought this image was pretty fitting, having such a focus on the sky and the stars. And then I added this kind of cool, like, I don't know if you would call it northern lights or galaxy type thing in the sky, which you see me working on here. This is a technique I saw on TikTok that I really wanted to try out. I definitely made a mistake with using that light purple in the first portion of this technique, but then I later tried to correct it for the rest of the sky. Other things that I added to this image is that I made her little stuffy cat into a bunny to match, kind of a reference to the book. If you know, you know, Babbitt Rabbit, and obviously there's a rabbit on the cover of Hellbent. But anyways, in the first book, I just really loved it because of the characters, Alex, and then also the character Darlington, Dawes, and Turner especially, were all just really good characters. I loved all of their relationships, especially their relationships with Alex and the different dynamics. Alex is such a good character to follow. She's really interesting, very rebellious and funny, so it's just really fun to see her interact with all these characters, and you can definitely ship her with like each and every one of them. In the first book, she actually starts investigating a bunch of murders that are happening on campus, and it seems like maybe one of the secret societies is involved. So she's working with this detective named Turner on that. She also works very closely with this girl named Dawes, and Darlington was her mentor at Yale and in Leith House. He has recently gone missing, so we're seeing a couple different timelines in the book, even though it could be very confusing at times as you kind of wrap your head around this world. I came to really love it. In terms of the coloring, I decided to do the background of like this stone wall to make it look like more of an old-timey, old-fashioned house. There's a couple different buildings that Alex goes to in the book. One of them is Il Baston, which is this kind of like magical house that she lives at. So I was trying to get that like old-timey building vibe with this like cobblestone. I think this is the first time I tried this technique as well, which I had been looking forward to doing. As for Hellbent, so this is the sequel, as I've said, and in this one, it definitely has similar vibes to the first one, but I feel like it's easier to grasp the plot because you already understand this world and what's going on. Leigh Bardugo still plays around with the timeline a little bit, but definitely was a little bit more linear and easier to understand. This one, we're really focused on saving Darlington. As you can kind of tell from the title, minor spoiler alert, but he is in hell, so our main characters are trying to find a way to get to hell to save him. So it's a really fun setup for the plot. We also have again some different murders going on, so Turner is again involved as the local detective, so we still also have that kind of murder mystery aspect going on, and we also still have some things from Alex's past that are coming in and haunting her. Once again, the humor continues to be there, the plot, just everything, all of the spooky vibes. It just works for me in every single way. And here in the photo, you can see I'm adding shadow to the stones to try to make it look more realistic. And then we're also adding more blue to her blanket for the Yale colors. I don't necessarily love that I added so much blue because I don't know if it fits the rest of the vibe of like the old-timey brick or the sky. It kind of clashes a bit, but you know, I was just trying to go with the Yale vibes. But yeah, I really enjoyed Ninth House. I think if you were a fan of the first book, you will definitely enjoy the second book. I think just as much, to be honest. If you haven't checked out this series yet, it's definitely for people who are into fantasy, who are into dark books, who like reading about ghosts. Speaking of ghosts, I also put some ghosts on her blanket to try to represent Alex and her power of seeing ghosts. Again, was this the best choice? I don't know, but I was trying to include as many aspects as I could. But yeah, if you're into like demons and hell and rituals and magic, you just have to check out this series. I think it's really well done. For the rest of my coloring, I'm just kind of filling in everything else that needs to be filled in. The floors, the flowers, the vases. I also decided to leave the cat white because there is a character named Cosmo in the book who is a white cat, so that was perfect. I just left him white. I gave her some slippers that I put Leigh House written on there because that is the name of her house, of her secret society. And then some details that I end up doing off camera is adding Alex's tattoo, adding some words onto her little notebook that she has there, and adding some wood detailing to make the wood look more real. Alright, I'm here with Peach. Last night I finished my coloring page and I'm actually really happy with it. So let's take a look. Here is the final page. So one of the reasons I chose this image is because it had the moon and the stars, and obviously for Alex's name being Galaxy, I tried to show kind of like there's some sort of galaxy thing going on in the sky. I put some stone walls and wood to make it look like an older building, either Il Baston, which is the house she stays in, or maybe Darlington's house. I forget the name of that house. We have a bunch of Yale references because she goes to Yale and that's where it takes place. This is the Yale motto, Lux A Veritas. And then we have the Yale kind of logo, and their color is this like darker blue. So I incorporated those blues on her blanket again with little ghosties because obviously she has the power to see ghosts. Then for Alex, I tried to make it look like her with her dark hair. Maybe I should have made her hair even darker, honestly. And then I put her little, her role at Leigh is Virgil. So I wrote that here, and I also gave her tattoo. I couldn't exactly remember, but I looked up that it apparently looks like some of the symbols from the Wheel tarot card, so I tried to do that. Obviously, I transformed this little cat into a bunny to reference Babbitt Rabbit from the book, and obviously that there's a bunny on the cover of Hellbent. This is Cosmo, who is a character in the book. He's the cat that Darlington has, and he is described as white, so I just left it white. Didn't really do anything special with the leaves and flowers, just kind of kept them basic. Then for this pillow, I added a snake to have a reference to the Ninth House cover as well. For her slippers, I just put a Leigh house on them. And then on her little table here on the book, I put to do, save Darlington. It only says Darl because I couldn't fit the whole word, but I think that's kind of funny because she's trying to save him during the course of Hellbent. So I think that's all of the kind of Alex Stern references that I added in. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like I could have done something different for the ghost, like had a ghost like be in the corner or something, but that just seemed like more work. Also, I thought about adding, minor spoiler, I thought about adding some like blue flame around her, but I just thought, I feel like that's doing too much. So I feel like I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know if all the colors kind of go together, but it's what I chose to fit with the book. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I don't know how many people are gonna want to watch this, but this was just a great way for me to combine two of my interests of reading and coloring. I'll try to link as much as I can down below in terms of the supplies I used, the coloring books and stuff like that. Let me know if you'd want to see me do another part in this, like a part 2 where I continue to color based on the books I read. I'm really leaning towards doing it because I just had such a fun time with this concept. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay tuned for more bookish content as always. Be sure to subscribe if you have not already. All right, bye.